Hello boys and girls, today I'll be talking about my current build, the Dracula Wilson build. You might already have seen a few videos on my channel about it. If you haven't, there are two links here, one versus the Guardians, one versus a tier 15 Abyss Reflect minus max resistance map. You have all the tools up here to skip through certain parts of the video. I must say, this build is not very cheap, but it's cheap. It isn't like a 20x build. You can make this with you can make it happen with 3x, maybe 4. So you can farm it up easily. Furthermore, this map can do any map mod. I opened the Colosseum map with double boss something. I forgot. I'll show you when I'm in there. That will be at the end of the video. I'll just show you how to counteract a boss that goes infernal. Basically, how this I'll just go over how this works, then the itemization, and then the build guide, and then I'll just go in the map. So I'll just tell you how it works. A lot of you must be very well known with this jewel. My build uses 6 of these, which gives me 600% increased mana cost of skills, which is quite a lot, but it also gives me a very good chunk of spell damage. I also dual wield these. They are very underrated. They give me, well, the downside of it is the increased mana cost, but this build needs that, so it kind of becomes the plus side of it. I'll just also tell you why this cast speed is very important. I cast a lot of spells. Like if I cast something, spells fly out of me everywhere. All of those spells get the base chaos damage from these wands, which is just very nice. So basically, my helmet cast kills. My helmet deals damage to me for 400% of the mana cost I use. So elemental weakness has a mana cost of 900. So if I do this, I deal a lot of damage to myself, which means all my cost per damage taken proc. What's even funnier, my cost per damage taken, as you can see, the cooldown time is 0.25 seconds, so a quarter of a second. My cast speed is 0.72. I'm still trying to make it 62, but to counter interact it. So basically, the next time I use this skill, cost and damage taken is already reset, so it can be used again. So I'll just show you a little bit of how that works. Because of that, I can spam every skills I have in my build 4 times per second. So that's a little bit of where the damage comes from. Now for gear. Like I said, it isn't all too expensive. You can get a 0-linked brass dome and make it 4-linked, and just be like, well, I don't want flame surge and I don't want ice spear or any other spell. Like, what if you don't like arc? Take arc out, place ice spear in there, and you're good to go. So you can play around with your own little setup. But what's important is you must have Blade Vortex. Blade Vortex deals around, what is it? Unbuffed 1k damage each time it hits. So I basically, I'll tell you later why, heal 1k life every time this hits someone. So how do I counter all this damage I take? I went Berserker, so most of you probably already know what I did. This node, Cloaked in Savagery. 100% damage, least as life, if you've taken a savage hit recently. So I basically have 100% life, life leech, uptime, just it doesn't go away. Which means nothing can kill me. The quote of this build is, the only one who can kill me is me. I don't care how edgy it sounds. So basically I am immortal and I leech a lot of life, so that is why this build is called Dracula Wilson. Because Chris Wilson, haha haha. So that is how the build works. I'll just go over the itemization right now. I probably already said it, or it's somewhere on the screen if I didn't set it. Gem setup and my passive tree will be in the description below, so that you don't have to backtrack on this video. Remember that if you have like a green socket here but don't have a green socket here, you can basically switch those around. No problem, I'll just place my setup in the description. Well, I already said those. Dual wield Apex rages. They're like 20 chaos each at the current time. So that's around 40 chaos. Skull's Brittle, the lowest I saw was also 40 chaos. So that's 80 chaos. This one is quite expensive. I had to use it because of this. Yes, you might be able to fix that if you have enough points into the rest, or if you have more life gear than me, then you can basically switch some life nodes for things like this. But this is the way I went, because yeah, attributes also give life. So you basically need as much life as possible to counteract the damage you take. Like you see here, life resistance, life resistance, life resistance, life resistance and life resistance. You just need life and resistance. Remember, you at least want 25% movement speed, because this removes movement speed. And don't get too much armor, because if you do, you do less damage to yourself and you just need lower cosmic damage taken gems. And that will just be sad, because you would lose a lot of damage, and if you lose damage you lose a lot of leech. Well, I'm currently around 300k DPS, so I basically leech 300,000 life per second. You can also see that in the videos, nothing can really kill me. There was one close call though. I went for elemental weakness because yes, you curse them, they get lower resistance and boom, you do more damage. Easy as that. I started, well, for the passive tree now, I started out as a Marauder. Obviously you need the Cloaked in Savagery, dus you have to go Berserker, and you go, you take the life, this life, go down here, up here, take this life per pool, take these life nodes, because yes, flasks are just very good, especially if you have a big life pool. If I place a combs on my build, I'd get like 12k life, but the problem with that is you will lose a lot of spells, so a lot of damage. So I counteracted it with getting a lot of armor. You go up here because you need Foul Pact for the instant leech. You go up here, down here to get more life, more life, more life, more life. Basically, you go up here to get even more life, more life, more life. And this node is kind of special for this build. You cast so many spells that this has a 100% uptime, so it basically just means, here, have a free 40% more damage. So this build heavily relies on just getting all the free damage. It's currently level 90, so if after that you go down here, but around level 65, you want to start get a lot of dual sockets. Well, you want to have the dual sockets at that point, because you need it for the increased damage taken, of increased mana taken. Which means you do more damage, which means this helmet does more damage to you. Basically. Let me check it real quick. Yes. So basically, for the next 10 levels, I get like 50 base life from leveling already. I would take this life node, these life nodes, and this cluster, because I have more life, so I can have another of those fevered mines, which means I will do more damage to myself. Which means I can level my gems a little bit, so the damage can even maybe scale up to 500,000 DPS, which is quite insane for how tanky this is. But it's a very scary build. You can kill yourself easily, without doubt, because it just does so much damage to yourself. Make sure you want at least be able to hit yourself twice before dying. If you don't, the problem with it is that you probably will kill yourself. If a boss goes invulnerable and you don't see it, you won't leech on him. So basically you just become a puppet who is killing himself. So just have good knowledge about the bosses you are killing, because some of them go invulnerable. While I do this map, which has double, it's a tier 50 map, and it has double, I forgot his name. That dude goes invincible for a short moment and becomes enraged. I'll show you a little bit how to counteract that. If you can use the skill twice before dying because of it, it basically means you have a time span of half a second to think, oh shit, I'm not leeching, I stop casting spells. If you don't have, if you can use it once before dying, so let's say once, and if I cast it now again and I die, then basically you have a time span of 0.25 seconds to check, oh shit. And if you are, it mostly is too late because of the insane cost times, well, timestamp you have. There are some things dangerous to this build, because of that vulnerability. Shocked, if you're shocked, it's kind of dangerous. You don't have to use a vessel or a dying sun. You can use anything else, basically, but they are just very good for clearing and doing damage. You can switch them for, let's say, life nodes. Remember, it's always good to have an immunity to shock because of this armor, and eventually a vessel if you can get one, and always get removed bleeding, because if you bleed to low life and you don't have potions and you use a skill, you kill yourself. So as you can hear, I only talk about killing yourself because nothing can really kill you. You are immortal to everything except for yourself. Well, not everything, like the Force of the Phoenix map. That boss has that moment where he stabs himself and just explodes. Don't get hit by that, that's just explosive. Or the hammer from Shaper. Anything like one-shotty. Flame Blast from Uber series. But this build can basically face tank the trio from Uber series without touching any button. It just stands there and everything dies. Furthermore, I'll just show the map. I show you my build. Remember, build guide is in a build passage is in the comments below. Same goes for the gem setup. Let me check. I'll just go in it and I shall show you how this works. As you can see, nothing. I can just stand still and do nothing. Because yes, what's gonna kill me, you know? This is a tier 50 map. It has reduced critical strikes, contains 2 next bosses. Nothing crazy, but you can make them crazy as possible. Just because you can die. As you can see, you don't really see my life going low. Because it can't get low. I hope you can hear me over those loud noises. I should have, wait a second, I'll turn it down a little. Alright, that must be better. I probably have some music on the background, so I'm not sure how easy that's to hear. Maybe I'll just dim it a little bit. I'll just rush towards the boss. You can also skip to the boss in the menu on top. This will probably be a way too long video, but well, with the menu you can make it shorter if you want. Really? 20 years later. Damn. Alright, I already hate this map. I forgot that. I'll just skip over a lot of mobs. I'll take some just to regain my potions. Get in there. Alright, it's probably up here, if I assume so. Yes, okay. So, it is double Colosseum boss, and I'll just show you. And there. Second form. If I'd be attacking right now, I'd be losing a lot of life. Basically. They do go infernable really fast, and you have to check that. So basically, you don't want to hold the button against them. You want to, yeah, I call it controlled clicking. Luckily there are two, so that one, I can't lead on that one right now. But as you can see, I'll just, my hands are off the thing now. I just do nothing. As you can see, they kill themselves, basically. So yes, the only one who can kill me is me. I hope you like this. Thanks for watching. Sorry for all the clicking noises. I need a new pop filter, and I need something to get my well, a stand for my microphone. And I'm still fairly new to this, so I'm still stuttering a little bit. And English is not my native language, as you might have heard. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and have a fun time in 2.5.